Okay, so what I've done is I've made the rear. Now you can see how I've done this. It's just a piece of tube welded onto a small piece of steel, and I've tapped a hole through it, and you can adjust it using a screwdriver at the moment into this screw here. So there's a thread in this middle section and a small spring I've put on it, basically to put tension between this point and the sight, so it's pushing it across. So doing this, I've not had to put a circlip on the back end of the screw here. Now it seems to work out okay. Now the next bit is to do the front sight. Now you can see I've made a template up out of cardboard for how the front sight's going to look. Now you might ask, how do I know the front sights should look exactly like that and in that position? Well, what I did was I used some blue tack and one of these CD packing discs, or DVD packing discs I should say. Now what I did was I stuck this on the front end of the gun like so, marked the center point of it so I knew exactly where it was, lined it up with the hole in the front, and basically you set the gun up on the bipod, fire a shot at a decent range, and then line the rear sight up with the target where you've actually hit, and put a small spot on this transparent disc so that you know that that there lines up with where you're going to want to make your sight with, your sight line up with. So I think you can get the idea. You then just have to draw the shape of sight which will line up with the mark on this disc. So you get the idea. And that gives me this profile. Now when I mark that profile out on a piece of steel, nice heavy chunk of steel like this, that gives me that shape. So I've now got to go and cut that shape out and then weld a piece of pipe around the top of this to give me the round part. And then what I'll do is I'll drill a hole through the base of it under here going up, and I'll put a screw or something like that through to give me the center point of the sight. Okay, so I've just blued the back sight and I've cut the front sight now and fitted it, and you can see it's looking quite good. I've just used a nail as the pin in the centre of the front sight, and I've used a screw here to tighten up against the nail, so you can move it up and down to adjust it if you so wish, but I don't really think there's much of a problem in that. Really, I think an anti-tank rifle is, well, it's probably not the most accurate of rifles anyway, really, because with the sight being offset as it is. Now let's see if you can actually look through the sights. That's basically how it looks when you look through the sights. If I could get my head a little bit closer to it. Yeah, so you basically line up the front sight in the middle of the rear sight, and you can see the pin in the centre of it. Like so. I have tried the sights out in the garden, and it works quite well actually. I've also tried it at about 200 foot, and it seems to work okay at that range as well. So that's the rifle finished. I also fitted the rubber butt plate on the back a little while back. So I'm quite pleased with it now.